Welcome to the 2009 State of the City Address and Luncheon, hosted by the Oregon City Chamber of Commerce. We're pleased that 135 people are in attendance this year, which indicates that our businesses, our public, our government officials, and citizens alike are all taking an earnest interest in Oregon City and our city's future. In just a few minutes, we will hear from Oregon City's Mayor, Alice Norris, to present her annual State of the City Address. Good afternoon. I am Amber Holbeck. I serve as Executive Director for the Oregon City Chamber. This event today is being recorded by Willamette Falls Television and will be broadcast to the public via local cable access. Thank you to Melody Ashford, manager of Willamette Falls TV, for making this possible. And a business that's been a long-time partner, in fact, the longest ongoing business in Oregon City, is also our presenting sponsor today, and that is Portland General Electric, PGE, who you will hear from shortly. Thank you, PGE. We're fortunate to have a number of distinguished guests with us representing various levels of government and public service. Please stand when you're introduced, and will the audience please hold applause until all have been announced. Oregon City Mayor Alice Norris. City Commission President Daphne West. City Commissioner Doug Neely. City Manager Larry Patterson. Clackamas Community College President Dr. Joanne Truesdell. Clackamas Fire District Number 1 Chief Ed Kirchhoffer. Clackamas County Sheriff Craig Roberts. Clackamas County Commissioner Charlotte Lehan, Metro Councilwoman Carlotta Collette, and representing U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley's office, John Valley. Let's give a round of applause to all of these folks. At this time, it is my pleasure to ask our Chamber Board Chair, Sherry Henson from Bank of the West, to join me for a special introduction. And while we're waiting for Sherry to come on up, please notice that we have these little signs that we are recycling and reusing from our annual dinner, helping us celebrate our Chamber's 100th anniversary. Sherry.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming today. Thanks for supporting us. And I hope you don't mind if I keep my coat on. Somebody keeps wishing for a white Christmas, and we need to turn it off. I'm cold. As your Chamber's Board Chair, it is my pleasure to once again recognize our Chairman's Circle sponsors. 10 businesses this year, in fact, 3 more than last year, are demonstrating an enhanced level of support for our Chamber events through 2009. It's my privilege to ask those 10 businesses of our Chairman's Circle to stand when introduced. Abernathy Center, BCT, Clackamas Federal Credit Union, Community Solutions for Clackamas, Danielson's Hilltop Mall, Hagen Food and Pharmacy, McDonald's in the Hilltop Mall, Pacific Coast Recovery Service Incorporated, West Coast Bank, and Willamette Falls Hospital. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for your generosity and partnership with the Oregon City Chamber of Commerce. I'm also privileged to work with a talented group of people on our Chamber's Board of Directors. To familiarize our audience with those who serve on our board, may I please have all board members present today stand to be recognized. Thank you very much. Thank you, fellow board members, for your dedication to our chamber. And now, back to Amber.
Thank you, Sherry. Okay. Thank you, Sherry, for your leadership and your dedication to the Chamber. Before I introduce our presenting sponsor, I want to point out that there are index cards on each table. Please use those cards to neatly write any questions you may have for the mayor by the end of her address, or just simply keep notes for yourself. There will be a question and answer time at the end of the speech. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to invite an individual whom I admire and I'm always learning from. She is PGE's Government Affairs Specialist and is a leader in local, state, and national political scenes, as well as education. Please welcome our presenting sponsor, PGE, and Annette Mattson.
Thanks so much, Amber. I'd like to make a few remarks about the person who will be talking about PGE today, one of our upper management folks in operations, Christine Dunn. Christine Dunn was born and raised in Southern California, and she graduated from San Diego University. She worked for San Diego Gas and Electric for 18 years, and her responsibilities included managing the customer contact center, safety and claims, field operations, and customer service. In 1994, she moved to Oregon and began working for PGE. Her previous responsibilities included managing the customer offices, meter reading, meter services, and running PGE's customer contact center. Her current position as Eastern Region Manager for Portland General Electric puts her in charge of distribution engineering, service and design, and line operations for PGE's customers from Oregon City through North Portland to Wood Village and out up through Mount Hood. In addition to her long career in the utility business, Christine has been married for 38 years and raised 2 children. And importantly, her great-aunt, Eleanor Stevens, was the state librarian for Oregon from 1941 to 1958. Please welcome PGE's Eastern Region Manager, Christine Dunn.
Good afternoon. What a nice gathering and what an honor to be here. Annette, thank you so much for the introduction and certainly appreciate the Chamber for inviting PGE to be here. I want to first start with some introductions. We have a table of PGE employees that hold a very important jobs. And Bill Mullenberg, if you'd stand for a moment. This is a gentleman you really want to pay attention to. He's our general foreman here in Oregon City. And during we call it our Arctic event, he was the gentleman who made sure that the crews were out there, we got the power on as quickly as possible, and greatly appreciate his efforts. That was quite a mess, as you all know. So he was one of the people out. I'm not going to tell you how high up in the snow he was, but he's quite high up in different places in the snow and the ice. So thanks, Bill. And Larry Griggs, who is our lead service and design, helps create any sort of revamping that needs to be done around town, helps with the printing process, etc. Does a great job for us, so thank you, Larry. And Tom Riddle, he is our key customer account manager, handles the hospitals here and some of the larger accounts. Appreciate that. And Brilia Briggs, she is our customer energy advocate. So we've got some support here from PGE. You know, so thanks, you guys. Well, it's been mentioned that, and I didn't realize, we were the first longest standing business here in Oregon City, and that's awesome. We also had the first power plant. It was called Station A. It's now called the Sullivan Plant across the river. Originally, it was here on this side of the river, and we were the first power company in Oregon. It was originally Willamette Falls Electric Company, and we had the dubious honor of having the first national transmission line. It went all the way 14 miles to downtown Portland to light street lights, so way back when, 120 years ago. We have enjoyed being here. Not only if you've driven by Warner Milne Road, we've got a service center up there. We've got employees, everything from meter readers to the crews that Bill has. Of course, Larry's there too. Lots of folks in the community. That service has been provided to you up in that very facility since 1950s. That's pretty cool. I also wanted to mention to you that we handle in this region, out of Bill and Larry's office, we handle everything from Estacada, Malino, Milwaukee, Oak Groves, and all the parts in between. Recently, many of you know that we worked with Oregon City to get one of the first electric car charging stations Out of the first 5, that is really cool. We hope to continue partnering with Oregon City in lots of different ways, and that's certainly one way to do it. I do have a real brief sales pitch. April 1st, Verlia Briggs will be in our Warner Milne office, and we'll be talking about all kinds of energy conservation tips and how to potentially run your businesses more efficient, save in the bottom line, etc. So if you've got questions, please see Verlia or probably Annette or any of us can help you with the details on that. So again, thank you so much for allowing us to be here and join in this fabulous 150th year celebration of being Oregon City. And I do have roots here, as you've heard that. My kids say, don't call it roots, it's roots. I call it roots. What can you do? Anyhow, roots here in Oregon, and lots of family here. I'm thrilled to be living in Oregon, and thank you very much. And I'm going to turn it back over to Annette, who's going to introduce the mayor.
Thank you, Christine. It's a real thrill for me to be joined with a number of my coworkers here. I was just adding up the numbers. And between the 6 of us, we have 133 years with PGE. And we must have started out really, really young, is all I can figure out. But 133 years with 6 of us, wow. It's a lot of utility experience. When you add up, 2,700 of us, that's a lot of people with a lot of years to serve you. So thank you for that privilege. Mayor Alice Norris. It's my privilege to introduce your mayor today. Mayor Alice Norris is serving the city of Oregon City for her 2nd term. She was first elected to this office in 2003 and will complete her current term next year in 2010. She has been an active voice throughout Oregon City and the region for years. Just a few of her former and current commitments. She has chaired the Oregon City School Board, the Regional Arts and Culture Council, the South Fork Water Board, and the Oregon City Urban Renewal Commission. In addition to that, she has chaired the Metro Policy Advisory Committee and served on the Clackamas Repertory Board. She's recently been appointed to the Executive Committee of the Governor's Oregon 150 Committee. Her trend is certainly a lifetime of community service. Alice's commitment to our region's art and cultural heritage is widely recognized, and she was named the 2007 recipient of the Ron Schmidt Leadership Award by Governor Kulongoski. Mayor Norris received a Bachelor of Sciences degree in English Education from Oregon State University. She is married to Michael, a recently retired local physician. Today, they have 3 grown children and 5 grandchildren. It is my great honor to introduce to you a woman that I deeply respect, Oregon City's Mayor, Alice Norris, to present her State of the City address.
This is my 7th State of the City address, and thank goodness there's only one more. Each one has required its own unique personality to capture the changes, the issues, and the character of the city within the community. And this year's theme should be obvious. As we sit in the midst of the worst recession in 70 years, facing an uncertain future, all anyone wants to know: how is Oregon City holding up? What is Oregon City doing to cope with these tough economic times? Are people still taking another look? Yes, we do have some negative news. Since the recession began nearly a year ago, new home construction decreased dramatically from 2007, down 59%, which reflects the trend, of course, in the construction industry. Home remodels and additions did not decline as dramatically, however, and total permits issued were down only 25%. Because of an anticipated large housing development, we expect 2009 numbers to be close to 2007 levels. We have another negative. To date, we have not received our needed state or federal money to fix our #1 transportation priority, the I-205-213 interchange. And of course, when one entity suffers, such as our school district, we all suffer. High unemployment affects us all. Well, what about your city, our city? The fact is that Oregon City has been dealing with less, coping with a financial black hole, and finding ways to adjust since 2003. We've learned how to manage scarce resources because we had to. Because of those troubles and the actions that we took, Your city is more stable than many jurisdictions throughout the state and the local area. So on the eve of Oregon's 150th birthday, 4 days from now, what is the state of Oregon City? We spend a lot of time and energy here appreciating the past in Oregon City. In fact, we celebrate 165 years as Oregon's first city this December. Everyone knows the significant role that Oregon City has played in Oregon's 150-year history as the first capital and the first regional center for industry, commerce, transportation, tourism, and culture. We've drawn on the lessons of the past to help us imagine the future. So in these challenging times, I hope you believe it is possible to imagine the future with hope. As I present today, 150 reasons to be optimistic about Oregon City. Reason number one to be optimistic: it's safer to live in Oregon City today because we opened South End Fire Station. After sitting vacant for 5.5 years and owned now by our favorite Clackamas Fire District due to our successful fire annexation vote, our newest station has come to life. But more importantly, 4 people are alive today as a direct result of the fire district's decision to open the station in July rather than now in February, as was originally projected. On behalf of those 4 citizens in particular and the 30,000 citizens of Oregon City, I thank the paramedic firefighters at Station 17 and the whole fire district. Response times have improved by about 2 minutes per call, and the cardiac arrest save rates by our fire district are some of the best in the nation. Reason number 2 to be optimistic: we know how to reuse and recycle to save taxpayer dollars. Oregon City is having a new city hall this summer. By recycling a wonderful space, renovating it green, and giving our staff adequate room in which to work and surroundings that spur creative and clear thinking, we will have climbed another step on the ladder to Oregon City's revitalization. If the appearance of City Hall is the measure of what a community thinks about itself, as many tell me, then we will have gone from an inferiority complex to a great deal of community pride. Reason number 3 to be optimistic: our library is finally on stable financial footing. Because you approved the new library district in November, and thanks to Clackamas County, our library will once again be open 7 days a week for at least 50 hours starting July 1. Way better than our current 5-day, 35-hour operation. And as I speak, we are beginning the process to hire a full-time library director and buy more books, magazines, and audiovisual materials. Our library has been setting circulation records, and our hourly use is up 13% over last year. Now, let's find a location for the new library. Reason number 4 to be optimistic: we are continuing the commitment of past leaders to preserve and protect our waterfront. We did the groundbreaking and found full funding for 3 very important projects: the Willamette River Trail, John Storm Park, and our McLaughlin Boulevard project, all creating community connections. All 3 are physically connected to each other. None would have happened without community partners, and each provides connections to the Willamette River. John Storm Park is completed, but not yet dedicated. Wait for nicer weather. And has one of the best overlooks on the river. It also has interpretive areas, a plaza, and a picnic shelter. The Willamette River Trail will eventually link the Clackamas River with all the way to Willamette Falls. For non-motorized uses, this first segment has also included significant restoration and protection of the riparian habitat. The seeds of the McLaughlin Boulevard project were actually planted over 10 years ago when our community created the Downtown Community Plan. This summer, we will celebrate our success in delivering a long-desired reconnection between our downtown and the river. Look for safe pedestrian crossings, landscape medians, multi-use riverside pathway, a remarkable plaza overlooking the river with 3 large and lighted public art pieces, and lots of green. 465 new trees, 992 shrubs, 9,900 ground cover plantings, and jobs. Reason number 5 to be optimistic: we have new stewards of Main Street, one of the areas of our city that needs help. On September 29th, right here in this room, Oregon Governor Kulongoski selected Oregon City for the Main Street program, one of only 4 performing Oregon Main Streets. the highest category for downtown commercial district revitalization. Commissioner Daphne West is our point person on the active Main Street Board. Thank you, Daphne, for your work. Is our Main Street manager here? Oh, it's my honor today to present our very newly selected Main Street manager, Lloyd Purdy. It's an honor to have him with us and to have another partner. And it's making all see. Now, reason number 5 to be optimistic, our city is financially stable. Our bond rating has actually gone up. Oregon City is more financially healthy today because of excellent management of our bottom line by staff, approval of the fire annexation vote, and good planning for a rainy day. Reason number 7, we have brought more citizens into the decision-making process. By adding 5 new members to our Urban Renewal Commission, we have broadened our dialogue and our expertise. Our revived Citizen Involvement Council has elected officers, and Chris Taylor from Oregon City Police Department is staffing this group of neighborhood leaders. Reason number 8, we've been preparing for the future. You've already heard about our plug-in electric vehicle charging station. Oregon City was only the 2nd city government in Oregon to fund and install it. Free of charge, it runs on 100% renewable power. Through a partnership with PGE, as you heard, our city is now part of a regional charging station infrastructure ready to support fuel efficiency and lowered carbon emissions. Reason number 9 to be optimistic. We can now better communicate with you. In another future-oriented move, under the leadership of Nancy Ide, our city recorder, we now web stream our meetings. Since we began in September, there have been 976 hits from the public on the videos for meetings and events. The internal benefits are also surprisingly helpful for staff to review action items, critique presentation skills, and gain instant access to meetings to keep that flow of business going. Reason number 10 to be optimistic. We are getting more efficient. Each year, we conduct a grateful shred day as we move to a more paperless city operation. For every box we do not move to the new city hall, we will save $10. So cleanup day is saving moving costs. But you never know what you'll find. In this year's Grateful Shred, we found 9 boxes of 25-year-old wine, Oregon Trail wine from Henry Andrews Winery. I offered to you today for a door prize. You see, it doesn't quite come up to probably where it was, but it's not been opened. Perhaps you want to present this to someone for Valentine's Day. Reason number 11 to be optimistic. We protected our ratepayers, that's you, at Tri-City Sewer Plant. We persisted through tough negotiations and joined our partners, West Lynn and Gladstone, along with Clackamas County and communities to the north, to help solve a regional problem. But despite nearly doubling the size of the Tri-City plant, ratepayers will be responsible only to pay for the capacity needed for our own growth. And it adds jobs. Reason number 12, our staff is good at getting grants, meaning we can reduce pressure on our general fund. $330,000 for John Storm Park, $30,000 to reduce youth access to alcohol, another $30,000 for renewable energy feasibility, hydroelectricity recovery from our water distribution and transmission systems. Reason number 13 to be optimistic, we are a city that looks better. Our city has purposely and thoughtfully enhanced some of its unattractive places and now boasts new and innovative improvements. Look at our municipal elevator. It's now filled with public art, unique and distinctive, photographic lenticular prints by artist Michael Asbell. Thanks go to the work of our art selection committee headed by Chuck Clemens, who was named our 2009 Citizen of the Year, and to Public Works for redoing the tile, the lighting, and the paint inside the elevator. Next up, we're going to do the exterior. I'm starting the fundraising today. This is a bank, so I believe we've raised $33 to date, so we need a little more, so feel free to dump your change here before you go. We are also very dependent on volunteers to keep our cemetery and other places in the community looking beautiful. Did you know that the best view of Mount Hood in Oregon City is from the cemetery? Reason number 14 to be optimistic, we keep our promises. Along with the fire annexation, we pledge to maintain current services and not levy our full permanent tax rate for 5 years. We are in year 1, and we are actually levying a rate 6 cents lower than we promised. Being prudent and conservative with tax dollars is imperative. Reason number 15, we are innovative. We will launch a new city logo this year that links our pioneering heritage with our new vision of a sustainable future. It signals our community aspiration to maintain a strong economic base while maintaining our uniqueness and our small town friendliness. What do you think? Number 16, reason to be optimistic. We are a city focused on achieving our goals. In 2003, every single department and nearly every program in the city had problems or was financially troubled. With annexation to the fire district, new city, new library district, new water reservoir, stringent budget controls, focused economic development strategy, traffic safety improvements. Look at 7th Street, Washington Street, McLaughlin, the Beaver Creek Road intersection, reduction of our crime rate, and the first new park in 23 years, Oregon City has experienced an unprecedented turnaround. We have fixed all but 3 trouble spots. One of them is understaffing in the police department. But we have reason number 17 to be optimistic. We have a strategy in place for building the police department. With the addition of 1 more sworn officer this year and at least 3 more in the next 4 years, we now have 35 in the department. We'll add a 2nd community service officer to give us 8 non-sworn personnel. We now have 2 K-9 units with the swearing in of Officer Yeager. This is the end of an era for Oregon City Police Department as Chief Gordon Harris retires at the end of this month. He oversaw the dramatic reduction in our crime rate. The good news is that our crime rate has remained steady, but as the national trend is showing, we expect the economic downturn to drive up crimes of convenience, burglaries, theft, domestic violence, and alcohol abuse. Reason number 18 to be optimistic. We provide meaningful activities for families in the city. 90,000 visits to our swimming pool annually, a waiting list for our daddy-daughter dinner dance, 5,000 for our 4th of July fireworks event, and 31,000 Meals on Wheels delivered to the homebound elderly in our area, even during the record snowstorm in December. Reason number 19 to be optimistic. We take care of things you cannot see. Over 130 miles of gravity sewer collection pipes, 100 miles of storm water collection pipes, 4,300 catch basins, 5,200 water valve boxes, and sometimes surprising things in the detention ponds. Reason number 21 to be optimistic. We can better now fix our deteriorating streets. With the new pavement management utility fee implemented last summer, we pulled together Public Works did, a large slurry seal project and covered over 6.8 miles of local streets last year. This compares to the 1 mile we were able to maintain under the old funding system. We have 172 miles of streets, so we should be surfacing about 7 miles annually to avoid major reconstruction costs. Reason number 22 to be optimistic. We have fulfilled a long-standing priority of our residents for park and open space acquisition in an underserved area. Using park SDCs and the Metro Natural Areas Bond local share funding, your city purchased 9 acres near the road with excellent opportunity to serve the nearby neighborhood. As a fellow mayor has said to me, they ain't making new parkland anymore. You got to buy it when you can. Reason number 23 to be optimistic. We are secure for long-term water service in Oregon City due to good planning for the future. South Fork Water Board has banked SDC money to pay for an additional 2 million gallons of storage at the South Fork plant. Not one dime of ratepayer money. Another example of good stewardship of our resources and jobs. Number 24, reason to be optimistic. We are prepared to be at the front of the line, sorry, County, for any economic stimulus package, whether for our I-205-213 interchange project, historic restoration of the 1938 walkway and grand staircase on the McLaughlin Promenade, or safety improvements at Warner-Milne intersections. Job producers. Reason number 25 to be optimistic. In fact, it was tested today. We have learned a lot about snow removal from December's Arctic blast. Our public works crews, you heard about PGE, our public works crews put in 24-hour shifts to deal with a foot of snow and ice, flooding, downed trees, washed out streets, and plugged up pipes. We even had staff who had to work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Our dedicated Public Works Department distributed about 60 yards of sand and mixed it with de-icer for better effect, while other cities put out thousands of yards of sand. The result? Less sand in our catch basins and waterways, plus fewer hours of cleanup. Environmental savings and cost savings. The result? Well, in my 2007 State of the City, I told you that we put down 275 yards of sand and picked it up in a record 9 days. After December's snowstorm, our crews had swept up street sand within 2 days of the snow melting. The bill for this unusual winter event was $80,000 above our regular costs, much of that in staff overtime, of course. And yes, we do have some lessons learned. We learned we need snow plows on larger trucks and steel cutting blades instead of rubber. We need to bring on contract road graders sooner to better control the rutting we all loved so much. But all in all, we were better taken care of than most cities, and we thank you, Public Works. And then there was the New Year's Day flood event, but we'll save that for another year. Reason number 26 to be optimistic about Oregon City. Oregon City is on the brink of transformation. Within days, the Urban Renewal Commission will make a major decision on whether to move forward on the Cove, a 109-acre mixed-use waterfront village. In fact, last night, the Planning Commission supported the project 5-0, which is unanimous. As now planned, this phase development includes an 80,000-square-foot Kaiser Permanente medical office, 224 waterfront condominiums, up to 4 waterside restaurants, a marina, and 78 acres of parks, open land, and trails, and 600 jobs. Reason number 27 to be optimistic, because we are turning severely degraded property into public-private partnerships, restoring and enhancing the north entrance to our city. Of course, I'm talking about the landfill and the Rivers project. We are still working to bring the Rivers mixed-use development to reality. Fred Bruning and Senator Cal continue to believe that Oregon City is a good retail market. They continue to maintain a good relationship with many commercial would-be tenants. Our development team continues to resolve issues and is working hard to bring this project forward for a decision, but it remains a difficult path. The $22 million cost of the I-205-213 interchange makes it doubly difficult to put the financing in place. But no one has given up. The difficult economy does not help, but we hope to have an answer one way or another before the end of the year. And this means 1,600 jobs. Each year we show photos of gorgeous city scenery, great city projects, machines at work, and myriad city activities. But finally I noticed that the photos were missing something. They were missing the most important ingredient that Oregon City can be that makes Oregon City optimistic about the future, and that's you, the people who live and work here. So, reasons 28 to 149, scared you, didn't I? Are shown on these next slides. Some of the amazing volunteers, residents, and city staff, and city commissioners who contribute to the quality of life we expect in Oregon City. I call this segment the true face of the community. And while I'm talking about people, and as we imagine the future together, we can't forget that a majority of our voters in November voted against 3 large annexations in the Park Place and Beaver Creek Road areas. Because we need to determine together how we want Oregon City to grow and to accommodate the 1 million new residents that Metro predicts will be coming to us in the next 30 years, the city will launch a series of opportunities for residents to talk about our community aspirations. These will be questions such as, Where do we want population growth to occur? If we don't want to grow out toward our urban growth boundary, then do we want more density among our transit corridors and in the regional center? Do you like the Do you like the green job-producing concepts in the Beaver Creek Road concept plan and the village concepts in the Park Place concept plan? What kind of community are we planning for? These town hall meetings and focus groups will help us to plan our future together. Metro is expecting us to produce our local aspirations for making the greatest place in a very short time. Reason number 150. The final and most important reason that we have to be optimistic about Oregon City is because of the initiative of everyday citizens like you who care about their corner of the world, literally. Because of citizen initiative, we have TriMet's most unusual bus stop, the Cobb Bench on Division Street. Because a high school student saw the need and raised funds, Jaeger now has a bulletproof vest. Because of people such as local historians Rolla and Marge Harding, who took the initiative to bring people to Oregon City to show off our rich cultural assets. The National Civil War Conference brought 300 from across the country to bask in our unique history. Because of the dream of three citizens, Aaron Brenneman, Andy Bush, and Ryan Smith, Liberty Plaza was jam-packed for the summer concerts. Because of citizen initiative, we have a pesticide-free park at Atkinson Park. You can pull ivy up there the first Saturday of every month. Because some volunteers saw an opportunity, we have a slate of activities for Oregon City for Oregon's 150th birthday, including our 150th Things to Do in Oregon City brochure. We have 13,500 brochures, so please take one sparingly. And this tells you, this was put together, I think it's very cool. This tells you, these will be available. Thank you. Oh, good. They're out on the front table, and these will be available on Saturday when it is Free Museum Day, riding our trolley free to all of the museums and interpretive centers in Oregon City. So be sure you pick one up. But anyway, this was done with citizen initiative, thanks to Linda Orzen, Karen Morey, Ingrid Aubry, and the Oregon City 150th Committee. Although we expect the next 2 years to offer significant challenges, and believe me, we do not underestimate the spiral of state and federal financing, but your city government is continuing to work toward the vision that we created together to build on our uniqueness and be the best Oregon City that we can be. We now have a lot of experience in hard times, but we've hung together, put our shoulder to the wheel, and created a solid base for not just imagining our future, but for taking charge of our future. Because we have entered uncharted territory, it has never been more important to collaborate, integrate, and cooperate. My colleagues and I look forward to continuing our dialogue and our work toward creating a community that we can call the greatest place. Take another look at Oregon City. I think you'll find that we have more, way more, than 150 reasons to be optimistic about our town. And I thank the Chamber and all of you here today for being part of those reasons. Thank you. Thank you, and I would like to introduce my partners in crime. I believe we have 3 of our city commissioners here. Jim Nacita, please stand, Doug Neely, and our Commission President Daphne West. Rocky Smith, one of our new commissioners, is doing what he's supposed to do today. He's teaching art at Oregon City High School. So thank you, commissioners. I also would like all the staff for Oregon City to please stand and be recognized. You're the ones that makes our work possible. All staff. Thank you. And last, but by no means least, I would like to introduce, I guess we'll call him our production manager for the PowerPoint. That's Jason Faison. Another good job. We have time for one question. If anyone has questions, I'll be happy to answer. I don't know what the time is. Or we can just raffle off the Henry's wine. Well, thank you very much. Oh. Former Mayor Dan Fowler.
You mentioned the interchange down here, and it's integral in a lot of things for the city. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us maybe a little more specific, if you can, the communications you've had with either the state or the federal government, and what specifically is being done? Is it included in stimulus packages or not, and at what priority rank?
Our number one transportation priority is the I-205-213 interchange. And Nancy Crasher, our city engineer and public works director, will be glad to expound upon that for many pages. We have talked with, let's see, there you are. Yes, John Valley, in Senator Merkley's office. We have talked with Senator Schrader, Representative Schrader's office. I still have the old title. Schrader's office. It is in the state economic stimulus package. It is in the federal economic stimulus package. We are listed through Metro, which receives federal pass-through funds, on their list of accepted projects for the region. So the county has been very strong in supporting that project for Oregon City at every opportunity, which we really appreciate. It enjoys strong regional support, so we believe we're well positioned. We just haven't yet received the money. So hopefully that will be the headline of our next State of the City address together. Well, thank you so much for attending. Every year when I come, I'm always worried that there'll only be about 10 people, but I think it's an indication of the strong support that you feel for your community, and for that, I'm gratified.
You know, folks, there are mayors few and far between that rank up with Alice Norris. So I think this lady, who really has the best interests of our community and each one of us in the business community at hand, let's give her another round of applause. There were a few folks that snuck in after I had completed some introductions. I did want to recognize just briefly Metro President David Bragdon, Metro Councilwoman Carletta Collette, and our Clackamas County Clerk, Sherry Hall. Thank you for joining us. We've learned a lot, and because it's not yet 1 o'clock, I still get a little bit of podium time. And so if you would just hang in with me, we actually heard from Alice, heard her introduce to us a gentleman, Lloyd Purdy, who will be serving as our downtown manager for Main Street, Oregon City. He and his wife moved to Portland not too long ago from upstate New York, where he was a successful downtown manager. And to have him introduce himself to this group and have you get to know him a little bit better, I'm going to invite Lloyd up for a couple minutes to just share some greetings. Come on up, Lloyd.
This will be brief. It is a pleasure to be here today and an honor to be introduced to Oregon City at Mayor Norris's State of the City address. Before I say one more word, I do think we should recognize those who have been working very hard over the past year to create Main Street, Oregon City. That certainly includes Mayor Norris, city staff, the City Commission, and the Board of Directors for Main Street, Oregon City. Please do all stand up and be recognized one more time. This is the group that's going to continue to make great things happen downtown. As I said, it's an honor to be recognized and introduced here today. I did receive my official introduction to downtown Portland this morning. So it happens to everybody. Welcome to Oregon City, right? And it is a pleasure to be here. I'm sure it's obvious, sometimes obvious by the way I pronounce Oregon and not Oregon, Oregon, not Oregon, that I am new to town. I'm not new to downtown development. As the founding director of the Cortland Downtown Partnership in upstate New York, I created a downtown development organization that was responsible for over $1.6 million in commercial, cultural, and community development projects last year. My purpose in Oregon City is to bring a similar comprehensive approach to economic, cultural, and community development to our historic downtown. Over the last couple of days, I have spent some time at the top of the municipal elevator looking over downtown, and I want you to know, I can see it. I see the opportunities. I see the challenges. I see the potential, and I can see a more vibrant downtown that serves Oregon City as a great place to live, to work, and to visit. I look forward to meeting with all of you and working with all of you to cultivate that vision. Thank you.
Thank you, Lloyd, and welcome. And that is it, other than just thank you for your attendance. Thank you to PGE and your sponsorship presenting this address today and luncheon, and for your partnership with all of us. Also, special thanks to Claire Met and Julie Paulson, our chamber staff. Couldn't do it without you, ladies. Thank you, Abernethy Center, and have a great day, and let's have a productive 2009.